I'm Dave.
And I'm Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Dave.
This is Barstools.
And Bandtalk.
Yeah.
The complete music bucket list. It's actually, can you believe it's 1 week ago tonight that we talked the one, the only Todd Zuckerman blew up. That's the last time we actually interviewed somebody, was a week ago tonight.
Okay.
Yes, it was. We didn't talk to anybody since. Talked to a few people, kind of roving reporter when we were kind of in different spots and stuff like that. But we have a very, very good one tonight. Very good one tonight.
So I'm not sure exactly how we became aware of this lady. I kind of reached out to her because I saw a mutual friend of ours that was playing with her, and Sean had talked to her almost the same day. So make a long story short, she has some great accolades and fame based on some stuff that she's done in Nashville. She's a very talented country singer. We're really excited to talk to her. We're going to be talking about an event that she has planned for the 12th of August at the Tim Hortons up in the Forest Hills Parkway. We'll get the times and duration for a little bit later on during the interview, but it's something that we strongly recommend. It's for the Tim Hortons Camp Day for the kids, and it's a great benefit for that way. Let's just bring her on, Sean. This is going to be our new good friend, Dr. Lisa Richard. It's a third doctor, by the way. Did you know that? 3 doctors. There she is.
Hey guys.
How are you?
I am fantastic. Sitting outside enjoying still some warm weather here, so it's great.
What part of the world you in right now?
I am in Halifax, and I'm very happy to be in Halifax. Absolutely. It is gorgeous here, and thank you for the Atlantic bubble.
Yeah, I took advantage of that last weekend, and I had a good time. So thanks for being on the show, Lisa. And it's funny because we have a mutual friend in Paul.
Yes.
And David reached out to you at our event that we did a couple weeks ago. He said, you got to contact Lisa. And unbeknownst to me, David had already been talking to you.
He did.
David goes, take me back to the beginning. But before we started, you had talked about how you got into music. So you just, why don't you start where you.
Well, a little bit starts like everybody else, right? I mean, singing in front of your family and friends as a kid. We all started in the kitchen parties. I remember my folks and grandparents just standing around, and I would get paid $0.25 to sing Ballroom Blitz by Sweet. So I grew up on country and rock and roll. My brothers loved rock and roll, and my parents were into country, so I kind of got split down the middle. But by the time I got to Toronto while I was in school, I did play with a band while I was going to school there. And that was really my first more professional band that I played with, I guess, as I was growing up. So it was all original music. And we played at all the venues in Toronto, from the Horseshoe Tavern to Lee's Palace, the Opera House. We did all that stuff, and breakfast television. It was great. It was great. To get that almost training and get a lot of that foundation while I was in Toronto. And I couldn't wait to get to Halifax, though. That's why I came here, was for music.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where are you from originally then?
I'm originally from New Mills, New Brunswick. My dad was a lobster fisherman, and so I grew up in a little fishing village of about 25 people. And that's where some of the music gets started too, right? Like, you got to entertain yourself somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah, learned to play a little bit of guitar, started writing music when I was really young, and but never told anybody. That all came much later. I just really started putting out my own original music in the last 5 years.
Oh, wow.
I waited. Yeah, I did a lot of originals with other people when I was in Toronto. During that period, it was somebody else's band, Frank Perry Slice. So I think you can still find them on YouTube. They would tour Europe 6 months of the year, but I was in chiropractic college at the time, so I couldn't tour with them. But when they would come back to Toronto, they would pick me up, and I would tour with them around Toronto. So it was great experience working with them. But it was all to get here to Halifax, because there really was an amazing music scene here back in the 90s, right?
Right.
And that's the reason I came here. It was to obviously find work and to set up a practice, but I came here for the music. I couldn't believe when I would come visit Halifax what I would see here. It was amazing. It really was. So maybe I got to see you guys at one point and I didn't even know, but
We were far
yeah.
more handsome then than we are now, just saying. But
You're still handsome. What do you mean? You guys look great.
I was fishing for that one, eh?
Dave,
You can pay me later for that.
yeah,
No problem.
it's sad, really. So you moved back, and it's funny because I started playing again in Halifax around 2003-ish, after a little bit of a lull, and it was a pretty cool scene. But a couple of things happened, we'll say around 2007 to 2010, where the smoking bylaw came in, so it kind of really dampened the bars. There was a heightened kind of set of regulations around, what the liquor inspectors had in terms of power. And so it really, it was survival of the fittest, and an awful lot of bands and bars fell by the wayside. Did you involved in that at all when that was going on?
A little bit. I also had a conversation with someone at Razor Boy show. They were awesome, and Two Rock. And we were talking about that same time about how the video, the gambling machines got put in around that same time. And that seemed to really make a change with the venues and what the venue owners would spend to bring in a good band. Like that seemed to really change things. People were spending a lot of money at the poker machines, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's too bad that we get to be such an addictive society for gambling versus, drinking and entertainment, which is what, we kind of grew up on. But to Sean's point, and you saw it too, it was a perfect storm. The smoking bylaw, Mothers Against Drunk Driver, which is a good thing. It is a positive thing, but it was hard, it was hard for folks to take a cab all the way back to where they're, it was a real rough time. Our generation were out having kids. We weren't going out downtown like we used to. So everything was, we were really supporting the music scene back in the day, but people just weren't going out, and it really hurt a lot. When did you start playing here?
I moved here in 98. So
98,
I was
okay.
really coming on to the tail end of the amazing era that was here, which I keep being told it was like 80s and 90s. And so I kind of came a little late, I think. But there was still lots happening in 98, 99, 2000. But like you said, it was a little earlier in the year 2006, 7, things started to change. And you could notice a big change almost every couple of years. Like it was just changing more and more. So to the point where you kind of got to start thinking out of the box, outside of the box. And boy, we're in that scenario now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yikes, having to think outside the box.
Big time. And I mean, it's this show really kind of came out of that very idea where we were just kind of sitting around being bored. And it's like a little bit of feedback from some of our musician friends saying they really didn't have a platform to do anything. And it's like, well, hey, let's give it a try and see what happens. And here we are now.
I think this is great what you guys are doing. It's a great show. I've heard a lot about it. And it's really, I think, exposing people that maybe would have never thought to do things this way. So thank you for all your time and effort and hard work putting this together. It's great.
Well, thank you. I mean, one of the things that we've been really lucky is that we've really had to kick nobody out of this group. You know the way social media works, where you get an arsehole here and there, and we've really been fortunate there. That's not to say it won't happen, but everybody's been kind. Everybody's really been respectful of others. Our show that we did 2 weeks ago, I was blown away by how amazingly both receptive and respectful everybody was.
Yeah.
So it's been cool. And it's really cool because I really didn't, until Paul told me about you, I was like, sorry, I didn't know. And I went to watch.
To be honest,
how the hell?
I will let you know a little secret. To be honest, when I first came here, I didn't put my name out there. I was with different named bands. Not that you would have heard it of those bands either, but I tried to keep my work and music separate. I didn't tell anybody at work what I was doing. So I tried to keep those lives separate as much as I could. Right. But the cat's kind of out of the bag now. I'm letting my name stand, and I'm letting people know I write my own music. And yeah, so I've decided to change that in the last 5 years. So yeah, I've had a lot of help from people over the years. Like, I remember when I first came here, one of the first bands that got me up on stage was Sam Moon. He let me get up and do some stuff with him. Matt Minglewood. I got up with him at a festival that I was doing over in PEI. Carson Downey at the Birdland. Oh gosh, that was fantastic. He got me up to do a couple of songs. So, you know, I still, when I came here, it was amazing to get that support. And I don't regret 1 minute coming here. And I'm glad I'm here. So glad I'm here today with all this COVID stuff going on. But there definitely has been a change, and we have to start really thinking outside the box of what we're going to do next.
So let's talk about what you're doing, what you've done and what you're doing and what's going forward. Actually, let's start here, because here's what I really want to focus on. Because again, from a timeline perspective, we have to be, be careful of your time. And I see the sun's going down in Halifax, so don't sit in the dark either. Tell me more about August the 12th. The Tim Hortons
Okay,
campaign.
so that's the most recent thing that's going on. I was asked to debut my next original song called Together for Tim Hortons Camp Day. No one has heard it yet, and no one will hear it until we actually do it live on August 12th.
Right?
But, I'm so sorry. It's a request to keep it private until Camp Day. And we're doing that specifically for Tim Hortons. And so we're just putting on a small show that afternoon in the parking lot. There will be Hot Country 103.5 will be there. CTV Atlantic News will be there. And so people can stay in their vehicles, or they can social distance outside. And we're going to have a few words to say, and we're going to play a few songs. And we had a chance to actually visit. Paul and I went to visit the children's camp up in Tatamagouche.
Nice.
And so the general manager and some of the owners took us on a tour so we could see what we were doing for these kids. Now, the kids are not there this year, unfortunately, because of everything. But, it's an amazing venue and camp that they have. It's nothing like when I went to camp. I mean, we had outhouses when I went to camp. It's not like that. This is like a gorgeous place, and it's such a great opportunity for kids. They have a lot of music stuff there too, which I was really excited to see. There was guitars, and piano and different things, right? So it's just great. And I think we both wanted to volunteer just to stay there. Can we just stay? We'll just sing for the kids. But so we got to visit up there, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And we'll play some music on August 12th and raise some money for the kids for camp for next year.
What time?
So it's August 12th at 4 Forest Hill Parkway. That's the Cole Harbor location, the home of Sidney Crosby. And that'll be starting at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Okay.
That's 1 o'clock. And we should be done around 1. It's short. It's like half an hour, 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops. I mean, it's in the parking lot. There's a lot of different businesses there, so we don't want to, infringe our time too much. So it's short and sweet, but it's very important. And we're just trying to get the word out that this camp is still being maintained, and it will be hopefully open next year for kids. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's all those kids.
Tell me about Nashville.
Oh my. Well, Nashville is quite a story. I always wanted to go to Nashville, and my dad was actually diagnosed with cancer about 6 years ago, and this may be taken differently with different people, but I knew that was going to be a rough journey with our family. And I said, life is too short. I've always wanted to go to Nashville. I've been playing and singing and doing all this music for years, and I've never been to Nashville. I'm going. And within about 15 minutes of me just saying that, friends of mine sent me a text and said, "We're going to Nashville next summer. We're going to rent a house. Do you want to come?" I'm like, absolutely. So that was kind of how my first trip went. I wanted to go. The universe lined it up so I could go. And it just starts from there. I mean, from the time my first visit, and I've been going there a lot over the last 5 years, I've just met some amazing people. I've met some amazing friends. I miss them all dearly. They're having a rough time down there.
Yeah.
You think it's rough here? It's really rough for them. I mean, their whole livelihood, everything there is about music. So it's really tough. I feel really bad for a lot of my friends that are down there. But on a happy note, I've been able to work with some amazing songwriters, Rick Tiger, Jeff Wonix, who wrote Uniforms with me, and that was my first radio play on Sirius XM and
Beautiful
CBC
song.
Radio.
Beautiful song.
Thank you. We're gonna do that on August 12th as well. We will do
Nice.
that one. Yeah. So that one was written because of the fact of when I was a kid, I was saved by a student that was passing by after I was in a car accident with a moose in Northern New Brunswick. So that's a whole other story. But he did save my life. And while I was in Nashville, after a couple of years going to Nashville, I was sitting on Music Row and with my co-writers, and I said, you know what? I can't make this stuff up. Like, how does a kid from a fishing village end up writing music on Music Row? I'm just blown away by this. And I said, I need to thank the people that saved my life when I was a kid. So that's where that song got started. It was very emotional. And then right after we wrote that song, that was the evening that I ended up being on stage for the first time with Vince Gill. I've been back there a few times since, and I've been on stage with him since, but that was my first time being on stage with Vince Gill and the Time Jumpers. And it just, still to this day, I get goosebumps talking about it. They're amazing. They're such kind-hearted people. I love them all dearly. I do.
Amazing players. Oh my God, can they ever play?
Oh, and they're a little cheeky too, I'll tell you that. So they probably saw that I was white as a ghost, meeting them all for the first time. I was so excited. And they're basically asking me when I was backstage, we were having a chat, what song do you want to do? And I said, well, I'd love to do Jolene if I could. And Joe Spivey, who's one of the lead fiddle players for the Time Jumpers, he says, you know, his face just got really long and sad. He's like, yeah, we don't know that song. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll think of something else. And they let me sweat it out for about, it felt like a minute, but it was probably 30 seconds. And of course, they all burst out laughing because, of course, they knew the song. I mean, backstage, they have Dolly Parton's picture on the wall. I'm pretty sure they know Jolene. So I said, okay, you guys, a bunch of kidders. All right. So I got them back, though. So this is the backstage stuff that happens, right? I said, okay. I said, I know there's no solo in that song, but I'd love to hear a solo in that song. So they're now seeing I'm pushing back, right? So like, oh, really? What would you like to hear? And I'm sure most people would ask for Vince Gill to play, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to hear a solo by Vince Gill?
Yeah.
But I didn't. I said, no. I said, I would actually like to hear Paul Franklin's steel guitar. Well, that just got them going. So they got me on stage and the bantering started. I was on stage for probably 6 or 7 minutes because they tortured me. It was awful. I laughed so hard. No, they were great. They were great. I loved every minute of it. And so when we got to the solo part, Vince did a lovely solo. Paul Franklin did a lovely solo. The other guitar player did a lovely solo as well. And, you know, it was great. They're really kind to me. So yeah, I've been back a few times since.
Very
I miss
cool.
them. I do.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a. It's actually, as I was hearing you talk there, kind of what goes on in Halifax is a very similar vibe because the deal around here now is, and it drives our good friend Jackie Smith bananas. But there's not rehearsing anymore. There's a lot of, hey, can you do this gig? And you show up and you better know your stuff. And that's kind of a Nashville thing because a friend of mine that plays with me quite a bit, Michael Lloyd, goes down there quite a bit.
Oh, he was actually there one night in the audience, I believe, when I was on stage.
Oh, Michael, yeah.
I think he was there.
Yeah. He's about 6'6", looks like a linebacker.
I didn't get to go. Everything was empty. Like I was backstage, but I missed him, but I'm pretty sure he was there. Yeah. That's cool. I've seen people from New Brunswick, Canada. It's really surreal. I'm on stage and there's people from my hometown, like from back home, that's there watching, right? It's really cool. Yeah.
Very cool. And it's funny because
Oh, did I miss you? Oh, there we are.
yeah, Halifax used to be pretty cutthroat. It's a little bit more chill now. Like people will get other people up jamming, and Dave knows this. I've always had a rule of thumb: if I'm in the audience watching, you get my respect regardless. I'm not saying a word, whatever. But don't come to my show when I'm playing and chirp me about something, because you know what I mean. I'm going to give you respect. You give me respect.
Yeah.
And Halifax is a lot more chill than it used to be with that regard.
Yeah, we used to have kind of a bad reputation for.
haven't-
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I probably was sheltered a little bit from that. I didn't run into a lot of that, maybe because I didn't play downtown as much as you guys probably did. Being in the situation I was in, I was more doing stuff that was more private, like corporate stuff and private events and stuff like that. So I didn't really play down. Anytime I was downtown, I was up with a band that was already established, like the Persuaders, or somebody would get me up, right, to do a song if I showed up. But I know I've heard about all of that. Absolutely, that it was a pretty tight circle here, and I kind of, I think, I don't know, I was a little bit shy, probably stayed a little bit because of that, and but like you're saying, right, because of what's COVID. Silver lining to COVID, I feel like people are actually connecting more.
Yes.
And having a little bit more, empathy for people. And so hopefully that continues, right?
Well, I like to say that, the music community that exists in Halifax now is stronger than it's ever been, and we're seeing it firsthand with this show. And we're 3 months into this. We've talked to well over 120 people on the show. And it does my heart happy to know that there's been an about face. It's no longer, well, I could do what he does, but in the back of the bar. Now it's guys that's like, hey, how can we coexist? How can we help you out and do this, and maybe we'll do an event. And everyone's just trying to plan together to get to the next thing. And it's really nice to see, and it's not just our heroes like Maurice and Jackie and Bruce Wheaton.
Absolutely.
And, but it's the folks who are up and coming from us too. It's really nice. In all different genres, we've seen all different genres: country music, hip hop music, blues, folk, whatever. Everyone's just trying to get through this together, and it's really nice to see.
And we should, and I'm sure there's a lot of that goes on in Nashville as well. It's very competitive. There's a lot of people there trying to, make it and do their thing. But now everybody is having to find a way to help each other and support each other, because we have to. We're all going down, so we need to think outside of the box together and not think just for yourself anymore. I think it's forcing people to think of things together, which is not a bad thing. I think it's really good, and to bring different genres together. Like, I know most of what you guys have been probably exposed to or interviewing has mostly been the rock genre, which I grew up in too, obviously, and still love singing that stuff. I love it and love going to the shows. But yeah, we're not a far cry from some of the new country that's out there too, right? So don't discount us, rock and country gals.
You're like a walking, talking Donnie Marie. You're a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll, from what I can gather, Lisa. That's what I see.
That's perfect. Yeah, Donnie and Marie. Oh dear. That's one way to put it. We will keep it a family show for Kids Day, for Tim Hortons Camp Day. Absolutely, it'll be a kids show, a family show. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what we do here.
Here's that's right. I have to. If I answer,
I was already warned.
Oh, is that right?
I was already warned about your show.
Oh my God.
Your personalities precede you, but no, I've heard nothing but good things. I'm just joking, absolutely joking. But I think you guys are doing a great job, so keep it up.
Well, yeah, and two things I was going to say. If I have to answer to Dave's one more time about him swearing on the show, I don't know what I'm going to do because it's just like. But Dave's on, more so Dave, but we kicked tires on it there night before last. We actually we're talking about doing a variety show version of this, and we have it set up, and so we have to come down and shed a little wood with us when we get going.
I am more than happy to come in and play a few tunes. Absolutely. We'll pull out the Taylors and let her rip.
Yeah. So we have a couple more minutes left now. Let's cover off a couple quick things because I know we're skipping a lot of pieces of your puzzle. But so just the music,
right.
music you're doing now is all original. Is that right?
Yeah. I have already put out one EP, and I'm working on a second album right now with Jason Barry, and he is the CCMA Hall of Famer. He's one of the top producers in Canada for country music right now, and he's produced Terry Clark and Michelle Wright and Charlie Majors, and he works with Dean Brody, produces his stuff too. So I'm really happy to be working with him, and he's actually the one that produced my next song together that I'm going to debut with people on Kids Camp Day, August 12th.
August 12th at 4 Forest Hills Parkway at 1 o'clock. Up there near the Sobeys.
Well, hey, you know what? That's a great location.
Be there. We've got some stuff to give out too. We got some free swag. Yeah, yeah. We have Zach from who does sound at he's coming out to set up the stage and the sound for us. So thank you, Zach, for doing that.
Awesome.
And it should be a great day. Yeah, Zach Lacey. Yeah. So shout out to Zach. Thank you so much. Yep, we met with him last week. He's awesome guy. We look forward to working with him on that day.
Very good.
Awesome.
You're fading into the sunset a little bit. We can hardly see you now, Lisa.
I know. I'm gonna turn this so you can get some light.
God love you.
I don't know if that helps.
All right. Well,
I should have put the light on. I'm so sorry.
What day is it? August 12th is what day is that? Is that
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. Yeah, it's a Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Wednesday at 1. And if you can't make it, make sure you buy at least a coffee or a bracelet or something that day. All the proceeds go to Camp Day. They don't keep 1 cent. All the owners have to give all of that coffee money and the bracelet money. 100% of it has to go to the Tim's Camp Foundation. So it supports camps across Canada. So if you can't make it out to Cole Harbour, make sure you pick up something, a coffee that day, get your office a coffee that day. It's for the kids, right?
Nice.
Let's do this for the kids and do something positive, happy, and yeah, let's do that. And we'll be there giving out some swag for people if they show up. So yeah.
Do me a favor. Send me a note the day before. And one of us, if not both of us, will definitely get down there. We'll do some sort of little video thing on it and make sure that it gets on the show.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
I'll have to bring my shades because I know people smiling like.
That's very cool. We'll do.
Yeah, people's got that great smile,
Yeah, we're hoping for sun.
Yes.
We're all going to need shades. We're all going to need shades that day.
Listen, you need shades. So I think your future is very, very bright, Mardell. And it's just, we appreciate you being on the show. We thank you for coming on here. I'm going to actually play a couple of, Under the Heroes one is available right now. I'm going to highlight that on our show. Where can people find more about Dr. Lisa Richard? You have your own website, right? You have a website?
Well, I have my own website, Lisa Richard Mom, yes. LisaRichardMusic.com. I'm also, of course, on Facebook, Lisa Richard Music, Instagram, Lisa Richard Music. Yeah, it's all that stuff on Lisa Richard Music, social media and all that good stuff. But yeah, YouTube as well. If you type in my name, you'll see a bunch of different videos. One for uniforms that we did, and one for Fisherman's Daughter from my first album, which is still playing, I think, on Eastlink TV, the channel guide. It's been going for like 3 years. I think it's gotten like 1 million views by now because it's just still going on the channel. God, they won't take it down. It's all good. So yeah, that was an older video that we did. And the video with me and Vince Gill is on YouTube, but also on my Facebook page. And that's where most of the hits came from, was on the Facebook page. Least for sure music.
Well, there she is. Again, we want to say thank you very much for being on Barstools and Bandtalk. Sean, I really appreciate meeting you and learn to know a little bit more about you. And we'll have to get you back on the show and definitely get you back into Live a Day. So as part of our segment for the Barstools and Band Jam, whatever the hell we got to call it, the variety show.
Oh, I'd love to do that. Yeah, that'd be so much fun. Absolutely, I'll do that. And I'm actually honored that you guys, I think I'm your first country artist that you've had on your show, right?
No.
You know what? You know what? We had
oh, he beat me. I'm your first female then.
First female artist, country artist, yeah. Well, yes. Louise Emanuel.
Oh, geez, I missed that one too.
I'll tell you what, we had Chris Potty, but Chris Potty's far from an artist, so we won't count.
He's gonna love that comment.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna love that.
He's not an artist, he's a drummer, for God's sake. See,
we love Chris.
This is me. I'm the new, kinder, gentler Dave. Now Sean's gonna become the big potty mouth, and I'll be the PC PG guy. Oh, Sean.
Oh dear.
You're swapping.
Mom,
oh dear.
It wasn't me this time. It was Sean, Mom.
That's awesome. Oh, my.
All right.
We're keeping it a family show, though, right? This is the family show.
Yes, it is, definitely, for sure.
For tonight.
It has been pretty good tonight. And definitely for the 12th of August at 1 o'clock, Forest Hills Parkway. Be there for the kids for Kent Day. That's very important cause. And listen, we appreciate you taking part of that. That's awesome. You know what I mean? That's great.
We're going to do it for the kids. Come on down.
Thanks, Lisa. Sister. We're up. Well, we'll talk to you really, really soon, okay?
All right. Let's talk soon. Peace.
All right. You take care, hon.